was able to get this root. This side I was not. But is that a root? I don't know, but so you see how it So I have some of the dirt that, can you see? I'm trying to keep it in the shade, but yeah, so I have some dirt that I took from where it came from. This is the rose plant. This is the rose cutting. Doesn't it look like a plant already? I'm going to show you how to do the layer propagation technique for this rose bush. To make sure this is the least hassle and least maintenance, I suggest you do this cutting technique during spring or fall when it's cool. That way the plant has time to establish those roots and then have the summer to grow the strong roots that you want for the plant. Now, if maybe you severed the plant by accident or something and if that's in the summer, still try the technique, but I would water it or really mulch that area to keep the moisture in. Okay, so what you'll need is a bucket with soil, something to wound the stem with. I use my shears, and a brick to hold down the branch if you're gonna do a big cutting. And I use rose gloves because these prevent you from getting cut up. I will provide links to those gloves because they are amazing. As for these shears, I would not recommend, so no link for that. Actually, I would show you the link for that so that you know not to get that kit. Okay, and let's do it. Okay, so we're gonna do our first one, and I'm gonna get this one. Actually, let me get this one with it. See, this is why you need these gloves, because the roses. So I'm just gonna kind of wiggle it over. This way I get a longer cutting. So let me, you see how I pushed it down? Okay. Oh, my foot's asleep. Okay, here. So what we're gonna do is just scrape it. Some people say you don't have to, like with the rose bush, you can just do this. But just to be sure. So I'm gonna peel off the little thorns. Hopefully that would help it. And I'm gonna wound it. You might not need to, but here's what I did. And whoop, so you wound it on the bottom. I know I'm going crazy with it, but I'm confident in my soil. And I'm gonna move, I'm just gonna push it over to the corner a little bit. And you know what, I'm just gonna snip. I'm gonna snip this one off because it's kind of in the way. Okay, so I'm gonna dump some soil on top. Okay, there. So this is just not the best soil, but it's fine because the plant is gonna be helping support this, so I'm going to mix mulch and the soil. Just mix it in. And then more mulch. Okay. And I'm just gonna put the piece of brick over on top. And then, oh my gosh, this definitely needs to be pruned off. And then when I prune roses, I try to just, if I don't want to throw it out somewhere, I try to keep it by here. Okay, so it rained yesterday, but just to be sure, I'm just gonna give it a quick water underneath this. Just a little bit. You should have a garden journal or something to keep track of this, because I honestly forgot I did the cutting. And so when I was weeding, excuse me, when I was trying to weed this area, I was like, oh, there's a cutting here. But why is there this brick on top? It was me placing the brick to hold the stem down so that it touches the ground. So I did that cutting probably the fall or spring of last year. So it took like one season. So give it one season and you can check it again. Because I also did this to my hydrangea and it worked. So before I end the video, I just want to show you something about roses that I found surprising. So if you're willing to be risky, I think roses, you can split it, because this is what happened to this one rose I had that I was transplanting. So you see, it's kind of hard to see, but this is one rose plant, like individually it has its own roots. And this is one, but they used to be one rose plant that became two, because when I split it, it just broke off. I don't know how, it just broke. It's pretty old, at least 10, 20 years maybe. You can see how old it is by this. Very woody. Yeah, so this is actually two. I actually thought this would not make it, but it looks like it is going to. So yeah, if you want to split your rose by the root ball, you can try that as well. I did it during the fall actually. And you know what? Where's my other bucket? The crazy thing is, it's not just two. Two survived, but it was actually three, and this one was going to survive, but I forgot to water it. So this is the main one. So one rose plant got split into three when I transplanted it, and it fell into three pieces, which I planted two in the ground and two in a pot. The pot one didn't make it, only because I didn't water it. So if you do it, try to do it in the ground in case you forget to water it in the winter time, because I went on vacation and I just honestly didn't think it'll get that dry, because I had it under a tree, so I thought it was good enough. It wasn't. It looks very dead right now, but I'm just keeping it just in case a miracle will happen. So if you want to replicate something, or when you're transplanting and it splits into two or three or four or whatever, plant it and see if it will grow, because this clearly did. I thought this would die. Like, it looks totally dead, but then it came back.